Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing two upcoming maps that are going to be available on all servers in HD, well at least if they make it out the Super Test server. I'm going to be giving you my initial impressions based on some video footage we have, some screenshots and also a bird's eye view of the minimap, so without further ado let's get started with Empire's Border. Now this map may appear familiar for a few of you because it's currently on the Chinese server, but we have not seen it outside of that, and of course, as it's going to be the Chinese map, so to say, it is featuring a gigantic wall, which I guess is meant to represent the Great Wall of China. So immediately, I'm getting vibes of Dragon's Ridge. Does anyone remember that map back in the day? I think it was added in one of the early 7-point-something patches, and it was one of my favorites because it had such a huge difference in the height. Sometimes you'd really be able to get above your opponents, go down below. There were multiple avenues. Really, when we think about it, Dragon's Ridge didn't have many linear passes apart from when they added in that kind of southeast area. Now, of course, Dragon's Ridge was removed because of, I think it was just too tricky and not a lot of players liked it. I personally loved it. It was also having some issue with graphics cards. However, now Wargaming have got a new render, they've got a new just everything is new about the way that they model these maps, and they have to do them from the ground up. And so hopefully this is going to have any issues with graphics cards and so on and so forth. And yeah, it's looking pretty tasty. And they've definitely taken some inspiration from Dragon's Ridge. We can see the kind of like the pagoda style buildings there. And also I'm getting vibes of, what was it? Was it called Sacred Valley? That map that they removed from the Korean server as well. Well, not from the Korean server, it was actually based on Korea. On Sacred Valley. The wall does look like it's going to be a very prominent feature of this map. I wonder how it's going to directly interact with the gameplay. Alright, lots of destructible scenery. I'm sure we're going to see people bombing it around in their vehicles, crushing down all of these lovely Chinese buildings. And yeah, Wargaming have really gone to town on the details here, as we can see. So it looks like there's going to be a town area inside, a lot like was on Dragon's Ridge. There was a town in the center, and oh, this is interesting. Okay, so you can go through the Great Wall. Those archways look like they're going to be fantastic for heavy tanks that want to kind of side scrape and try and push through the breach. Maybe tank destroyers as well, trying to hold back vehicles from passing through. It looks very open, but it also looks like there are some close quarters areas, but also some open areas. I wonder if it's going to be suitable for all tank types. Not quite sure if there are some prominent bushes. Oh, yeah, that's okay. That's more like it. That's where you want to have your light tanks and your mediums, right? Really extend the view range for your team. Okay, so that's it. Empire's Border. The video is done. So to cap it all off, Wargaming have provided me with some screenshots as well, although I'm not sure how much we're really going to be able to take from it. Okay, Cap Circle looks like it's completely out in the open. There are no rocks that you're going to be able to hide behind inside it. And why am I getting vibes that this map is also on the Xbox? I remember playing the Chieftain, I think, through this tunnel as well. I'm not 100% certain, as I am a bit of a console scrub, or at least a scrub when it comes to my knowledge about the console. Alright, that's looking very much more like Redshire, isn't it? Nice positions to hide from artillery, try and get some defensive locations there, and hopefully some narrow passes, well, not narrow passes, it's completely open, but some buildings to kind of break up the cover as you make it across. I wonder if you're going to be able to get up there. It looks like you are, because there's the edge of the map. Wow, that'll be very impressive. Lots of opportunities for tank destroyers and long-range vehicles to snipe across if that's going to be the case. And this will be very much more open. Some nice locations here for vehicles with low amounts of gun depression but strong turrets, i.e. Soviet tanks, to work. But all in all, it looks like it's going to be... There are going to be some passes on this map is what I'm trying to say. And oh wow, that is the vista view. Fantastic. Alright, so one cap circle here. Does the wall completely separate the map? And is there going to be another cap circle over there? Well, the easiest way to find that out... Oh, there you go. There's the other cap circle. But this is the easiest way to really find out where the cap circles are going to be, huh? And that is by looking, of course, at the minimap. So the wall does indeed break up the center of the map. As we can see here, the red base is actually this base location in this screenshot, and the wall we were running across the center, so I guess the other base is going to be around up there. So it looks like this part of the terrain is actually going to be outside the map, and the edge kind of goes out along here and then extends that way and that way. So when we get the minimap view, it actually does look like there are going to be quite a few corridors. There's going to be one making the way through here, there's going to be another one making the way through here, one along here, I guess one through the town, one around here, and then one across there. So that is 6 different kind of paths that you can make make your way towards the enemy base. But one of the key things to highlight is it looks like we're going to be able to progress from here to here. So you're going to be able to change pathways and also from here to here. And of course, looks like we're going to be able to go up the slope here and around here as well. And so what I'm trying to highlight is that really until you get from around this area to this location, there's lots of opportunities to change your path of assault. Now, one part that's immediately coming to my attention is this area and how the fact that it doesn't have any symmetry over here. Looks like this is the gateway in this location, which doesn't really have a gate to go through here. And as I mentioned on the screenshot that we had, that's probably going to be quite a challenging location to push through unless you're immensely armored. All in all, I'm personally getting vibes of a map that was removed from the game called Northwest. I just noticed something pretty scary. Here is Northwest. Looks like they've definitely taken inspiration from the old Northwest map. But the key difference is here is it looks like you're going to be able to go further towards the south, as well as these areas here and here have just been completely blocked off. I guess to try and separate the map, because always what was one of the problems with Northwest was the fact that there was too much cross-fighting from, I guess, northwest to southeast, which is something that clearly is going to be removed by the Great Wall. And so all in all, I really like the look of Empire's border, and I hope it makes it out the super test onto a test server for all of us. Now we're going to be looking at Lost City, although this isn't quite Lost City, it's actually a recycled version of Ghost Town, which was a map that was used in the Rampage game mode for any of you who played that. And also, any Clan Wars players out there or esports players out there who are hoping that Wargaming are going to announce a new version of World of Tanks esports will know that this was a map that was involved in the attack and defense there. Now, the interesting thing about Lost City, and I will describe this more when we take a look at the mini-map, is that it's actually completely symmetrical. But for now, let's just take a look at all of the different looks and that we can pick up from Lost City. Okay, so some statues up there, not quite sure who it is. Is it Lenin? It's probably going to be Lenin. I really like the Soviet, yeah, Lenin, okay. I really like the Soviet vibe here. It is a nice, oh, and also now that Wargaming have like the old Vista view as well, that really does add to this map. Okay, so some crashed cranes here, or some derelict cranes, some abandoned cranes, nearly said trains there. All right, some buildings, great. Oh, really good commentary. Yes, there's some buildings. Oh, okay, I really like that. So, oh, yeah, and I get a nice zoom in on that. I really like those murals there. It looks almost like a mosaic there. Fantastic. Having seen things like that in Minsk, they really are just absolutely out of this world from a Westerner going and taking a look at things like that. All right, so close quarters, city fight, and oh, look at that silica on the sand there, beautiful. Wargaming really showing off their HD looks of these maps now, huh? Yeah, go to town. I'm glad. Oh, dust storms as well on the right, did you see that? Now, unfortunately, all of that part of the map isn't actually used. The border of this map like ties quite closely to the edge of the buildings, but I don't remember that big. Oh wow, did you see the hammer and the sickle there on top of the mountain? That's pretty alright. Okay, we've seen this street before, but it does look gorgeous. Okay, let's try and skip through this video a little bit boring. Okay, I think we've seen it. Yeah, oh, that is such a cool, I love it. I love that design. I love the Cyrillic font as well at the top with all the banners. Yeah, good stuff. Alright, so yeah, I mean, Ghost Town, it's not quite so exciting because frankly, we've seen this map before, right? Oh, this is a nice addition. They've actually got a ship out towards the edges of it. But of course, as we can see with the border of the map there, you're not going to be able to go and fight around those ships. Yeah, the statues are absolutely wonderful. Very few trees. It's not going to be a very good map for light tanks, I don't think. And yeah, that's about as Soviet as it gets. We've got Lenin, we've got the sickle and the hammer there, and we've got the unique art style. You know, I'm liking the look of this. I think this is probably one of the weakest screenshots that they've given us. Isn't very impressive graphically, but I guess this is showing kind of like the dust storm around the edge of the map, which is a pretty cool vibe. But I'm sure that a lot of you will be more excited to see the mini-map. And if you've forgotten it yet, this is a completely symmetrical map. Now, symmetry within map design is something that's very controversial, of course. It would give the idea of the map being completely balanced, right? But also, map designers really don't like symmetry because it prevents them from putting flair on it, and it reduces the feeling of each engagement being a novel encounter. Of course, if the approach is different from either side, then you're kind of doubling the gameplay value of the map, right? And because of it, there's really not that much to say about this map compared to Empire's border. Each team will spawn towards the south and also towards the north, and interestingly, your base is just a little bit further away. And so what this is going to encourage, I guess, is for half of your team to go one way to perhaps defend your your cap circle and half your team to go the other way to attack your cap circle. And how you choose to divide your forces, I guess, is going to be paramount in whether you're going to win the battle. Of course, if the enemies just send 3 tanks towards your cap circle, or you put all of your force towards theirs, and then they leave a bunch of tanks around here to interrupt the cap, they're going to be able to stop it. But if you don't have anyone defending, then it only takes 3 tanks to be able to cap out extremely quickly. Looks like Wargaming have left this area here and this area here for self-propelled guns as well, and I'm sure they're going to be providing all of the support for the attack. And we'll just have to see how prominent this sand ridge here and this sand ridge here, because I'm sure that artillery will love to skulk around here and in here to be able to defend their respective cap circles. So while Wargaming haven't included it on the screenshots, I guess this is one of the defensive circles here, and there's going to be another one on the other side, and this is where one of the spawns is, with the attacking team having to come through the buildings here. Now that quite concerns me, because it looks like the cap circle is going to be very open, and so that strongly suggests to me that you will not need many defenders here to be able to create an absolute kill zone for defending the base. And so I presume what the tactic is going to be is just to leave a few maybe tank destroyers here, maybe have an artillery back here, or maybe an artillery getting crossfire over here. Can you be able to get through those buildings? I don't know, we'll just have to see. And then to invest most of your forces, perhaps pushing through the town to either try and make a breakthrough here and then try and flank round the back of your opponents. So all in all, this is going to be a very interesting experiment for the super test. Does symmetry, pure symmetry, work in World of Tanks? Will it be an enjoyable experience? Will it be a horrible experience? But for any of you out there who love Ensk, Himmelsdorf, Runeberg, and perhaps some of you out there who hated the fact that they removed Stalingrad, will be very happy to see Ghost Town in HD. Anyway, ladies and gents, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this sneak peek at these 2 maps and my initial impressions and opinions of them. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up, but if you hated it, make sure you give the video a thumbs down and let me know in the comments what you think about these 2 maps. Do you think they look absolutely fantastic and you can't wait to get your hands on them? Or do you think they look absolutely tragic and we don't need any more maps in World of Tanks? And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.